Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're staring directly at a word that, everyone uses, everyone wants, but I feel like almost nobody can actually define.
It is the ultimate moving target, isn't it?
It really is. We're talking about wealth, but, not the dictionary definition. Ask 3 people in the street what wealth is.
Right.
Person A says it's a number in a bank account, usually a big one. Person B says it's a feeling, sleeping well at night.
And person C just points at the neighbor's new truck.
Exactly. That right there is wealth.
And that confusion is precisely why so many of us feel like we're just chasing a ghost. If you don't define the destination, you're just driving in circles.
Which brings us to our source material. We're pulling apart a really fascinating framework from the Money Guy show. That's Brian and Bo.
Yeah, they're great.
And what I found so compelling is they stopped treating wealth like this cold math problem and started treating it like a behavioral journey.
Right. They gamify it, which is incredibly helpful because, our brains are wired for progression. We like leveling up.
It does. It feels like a video game.
Yeah.
They break wealth into 5 distinct levels: stability, strategy, security, freedom, and abundance.
And it's hierarchical. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Totally.
Which makes perfect sense. You can't worry about self-actualization if you don't know where your next meal is coming from.
Same thing here. You can't worry about your philanthropic legacy if you can't pay the light bill next Tuesday.
Exactly.
So our mission for this deep dive is to walk through these 5 levels. The goal is for you, listening right now, to benchmark yourself. Figure out which level you're on.
And more importantly, what specific lever you need to pull to unlock the next one.
Because a lot of people think they're at level 3 because they have a high income.
Oh, yeah.
But their bank account and their stress levels say they're solidly at level 1. That's the reality check.
All right, let's do it.
Let's get into it. Level 1, the foundation. Stability.
This sounds so basic, right? Stability. But this is where the vast majority of financial stress actually lives.
So how do they define it? Because stable feels, subjective.
It's deceptively simple. Stability is just the ability to pay your bills and live on less than you make.
Okay.
It's the absence of that gnawing month-to-month panic. It's walking to the mailbox without that pit in your stomach.
Okay, but here's where the source material immediately threw a curveball that I think is crucial. They emphasize that stability is not income-based.
This is the most common misconception, for sure. We assume if someone makes 6 figures, they're automatically stable.
Right.
Brian and Bo are so clear on this. You can make $100,000 a year and be completely unstable. You can make $400,000 and be a financial mess.
Well, someone making, say, $45,000 a year could have totally mastered level 1.
Precisely. It's about the gap between what comes in and what goes out, not the raw total.
Right. If you make $1 million but spend $1 million on one, you are broke.
You haven't even cleared level 1.
This leads to a concept they call the monthly payment mirage. This is such a pervasive trap in our culture.
Oh, it's how the entire automotive and, luxury market is structured. Think about it. When's the last time you walk into a car dealership?
Well,
they don't ask you the price of the car. They ask, what do you want your monthly payment to be?
and if you say, I can do $600 a month, they will find a way to finance anything.
Anything, a boat, a truck, an RV, for like 96 months just to hit your number?
So you drive off thinking, look at me, I'm wealthy, I've got the truck.
But you're not. You are renting a lifestyle. You've been tricked by the mirage that cash flow equals affordability. It doesn't.
That's a harsh way to put it. An indentured servant to the bank.
It is harsh. But if you're financing your phone, your furniture, your vacation, you own nothing.
So if you're stuck in that mirage, how do you fix it? The classic advice is, stop buying lattes.
Ugh, the latte factor. And the source actually pushes back on that really hard, which I appreciated.
Me too.
They argue that obsessing over a $5 coffee is a waste of mental energy if you're bleeding out from a mortal wound somewhere else.
They call it focusing on the big rocks.
Right. Housing, cars, and food. Those are the big rocks. If you buy a house you can't truly afford, or you drive a car that eats up 20% of your income.
Cutting out coffee won't save you.
Not a chance. Get the house and the car right, and you can drink all the lattes you want.
But to do that, you have to know where the money is going.
You have to use the B word.
The budget.
I know, it's visceral. Nobody likes it. But you can't fix what you don't measure. They call it finding where the money is sneaking out.
It's about awareness, not restriction.
Exactly.
So let's give people a checklist. How do you know for sure if you've beaten level 1?
It's pretty binary. First, do you have your insurance deductibles covered in cash?
meaning if you get in a fender bender, you can pay that $500 to $1,000 without a credit card.
Correct. Second, are you getting your full employer match at work? That's literally free money.
You're leaving salary on the table if you don't.
And third, have you vanquished high-interest debt? If you are carrying a balance on a credit card, you are not stable, period.
That's a hard line, but it's a necessary one. Okay, so let's say we've done that. The panic is gone. We're ready to level up to level 2, strategy.
This is the big shift. It's moving from defense to offense. Level 1 is just trying not to lose.
And level 2 is playing to win.
That's the word, intentionality. It's that aha moment where you realize, wait a minute, my money can do things. They use that phrase, the army of dollar bills.
I love that visualization. Every dollar is a little soldier.
And your job is to give them a mission. You want them conquering territory for you while you sleep. But, and this is the huge pitfall of level 2 new generals tend to make stupid decisions.
They talk about the fake strategy, chasing hot dots.
Oh, the hot dots. We all know this person. Maybe we've been this person.
Oh, probably.
They don't have an emergency fund. They still have a car payment, but they're telling you about some obscure cryptocurrency that's going to the moon.
Or an NFT project. Or an individual stock pick their cousin's roommate heard about.
That is not strategy. That is gambling. And it's a huge distraction from what actually works.
Which is boring.
Incredibly boring. Broad market index funds, consistent contributions. If your investment strategy gets your heart racing, you're probably doing it wrong.
The other side of fake strategy they mention is getting busy doing nothing.
The hassle factor. This is the person who opens 12 credit cards to game the rewards points for a free flight.
I feel a little attacked right now. I do love the point tax.
Hey, we all love a deal, but you have to ask yourself, is that actually building your net worth? Or are you just churning?
Tripping over dollars to pick up pennies.
Exactly. You spend 10 hours of mental energy to save $300 when that energy could have built a skill that pays $10,000.
And the last one was bad math. Justifying a luxury car because you got a low interest rate?
That's just consumption disguised as finance. Rationalizing a BMW over a Honda because it's a good deal is a classic level 2 trap. You think you're being strategic.
But you're just buying a depreciating asset.
Yeah.
So what does real strategy look like?
It follows what they call a financial order of operations, the FOO. It involves actual education. Do you know what a Roth IRA is? The tax benefits of a 401k.
And they give a very specific, a very difficult benchmark for this level.
The 25% rule.
This is the heavy lifting.
It is. The goal at level 2 is to save and invest 25% of your gross income.
Which is a lot. For the average person, a quarter of your paycheck feels impossible.
It is a heavy lift. That's why it's a level you have to unlock. It requires serious lifestyle design. You might have to live in a smaller house or drive an older car, but if you do it,
you're pretty much guaranteeing the later levels. You're feeding that army of dollar bills.
You're giving them enough recruits to win the war.
Okay, so you're saving 25%, you're consistent, you're boring. Now you graduate to level 3, security.
Welcome to the boring middle.
They call it that, but it actually sounds peaceful.
It is peaceful, but it's also where people get restless. Level 1 and 2 are a grind. There's a lot of activity. Level 3 is just waiting.
Waiting for what?
For compounding to kick in. This is where time becomes non-negotiable. You generally can't reach level 3 in your 20s.
Right. No matter how much you earn, your money just hasn't had enough time in the market.
Exactly.
They mentioned a concept here that blew my mind. The boiling point.
Or the boiling point, that tipping point.
Yeah.
It's the magical milestone where your portfolio makes more money in a good year or even a good quarter than you do.
Just think about that for a second. You go to work for 2,000 hours a year.
Right.
And your investment account, just sitting there silently, earns more than you did.
That's the moment your army of dollar bills becomes more productive than your actual labor. It changes your psychology completely.
And that leads to the lifestyle shifts. We have to talk about the guacamole test.
The guacamole test is the ultimate indicator of level 3. You're at Chipotle. They ask, guac is extra. Is that okay?
At level 1, you say no because you can't afford it. At level 2, you say no because it's not in the budget.
But at level 3, you say yes. And this is the key. You don't feel a pang of guilt. You don't do the mental math.
You just eat the guacamole.
You just eat the guacamole.
Yep.
It means your foundation is so solid that small choices can't hurt you anymore.
You don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a trap here, isn't there?
There's always a trap. This is the financial mutant trap.
A miser.
Right. To get to level 3, you had to be disciplined for like a decade. The problem is some people can't turn that switch off.
They have $1 million portfolio, but they're still yelling at their spouse for buying the name brand paper towels.
That's a tragedy. If you have the means but you live in constant fear, you aren't wealthy, you're just a hoarder.
You've let the discipline that saved you become the prison that holds you,
Perfectly said.
which sets the stage for level 4, freedom.
Now we're talking about the dream, financial independence.
So how is freedom different from security?
Security means you're okay. You could lose your job and be fine for a long time. Freedom means you're done, if you want to be.
Work becomes optional.
Optional. Your assets cover your current lifestyle and your future lifestyle.
And I think it's important to clarify, freedom doesn't mean you have to quit your job and go sit on a beach.
No, and honestly, for the kind of people who reach level 4, sitting on a beach for 30 years sounds like torture.
True.
Freedom isn't idleness, it's autonomy. You work because you enjoy the challenge, not because you have a mortgage. You can tell your boss, no, you own your time.
This is where the relationship with money totally flips, right?
Yeah.
Before, money was the goal. Now it's just a tool.
It's a tool to buy back time and create memories. They used a phrase I loved, blossoming memories.
It's nice. It pushes back against that die with zero fear.
It does. They make the point. You can't take it with you. If you are at level 4 and you skip a family vacation to save an extra $5,000, you are making a massive mistake.
You're trading a precious, non-renewable resource time for a resource you already have plenty of.
Right. Don't be a miser. But this level has a technical requirement, too. You have to stress test it.
Right. It's not just a vibe.
No. You need to know. If the market drops 20%, am I still okay? If inflation spikes again, does my plan break? Freedom requires a plan that can survive the unknown unknowns.
Okay, so we've climbed the mountain. Stability, strategy, security, and freedom. Most people would say, that's it, I won.
Game over.
But the money guy's at a level 5. Abundance.
And this is where it gets philosophical, and honestly, it's the most beautiful part of the whole framework.
I agree. I initially struggled to see the difference. If I'm free, aren't I abundant?
Not necessarily. Freedom is about you, your time, your autonomy. Abundance is about others. It's about purpose and legacy.
So freedom is, I have enough. And abundance is, I have more than enough, so what am I going to do with it?
Exactly, and they were so clear. Level 5 is not a number. You don't get there just by crossing $10 million in net worth.
You get there when you have a sense of stewardship, when you find joy in seeing employees succeed or your kids buy homes.
It's when your identity shifts. You're no longer defined by your paycheck. You're defined by your impact.
But here's the most encouraging part for me. They said, you don't have to wait until you're rich to visit level 5.
This is the key takeaway. You can practice the abundance mindset at level 1.
How? That seems contradictory if you're struggling.
You do it by beginning with the end in mind. If you know today, even if you're broke, that your ultimate goal is to be generous, that shapes your whole strategy.
It aligns your behavior.
Right. You don't have to be a miser to get rich. You can be generous with your time if you don't have money. And the signs of success at level 5, they aren't luxury cars.
They're contentment, satisfaction.
Waking up feeling like the world is a little better because you're in it, that's a form of wealth that money, ironically, can't buy.
So, to recap the arc, we started stability stopping the panic, moved to strategy building the army, endure the boring middle of security trusting the process, achieve freedom owning our time, and finally, step into abundance owning our purpose.
It's a simple path, but as they say constantly, simple does not mean easy.
No, and success actually complicates things.
It really does. More money, more problems is real. At the top, you've got tax complications, estate planning, charitable structures.
But I'd rather have those problems.
Amen to that. I'll take estate planning stress over can I buy groceries stress any day of the week.
So here's the challenge for you listening right now. Look in the mirror and be honest. Which level are you actually in?
And catch the behavior mismatch. That's the most important part. Are you a strategy person faking security by leasing a Land Rover?
Or are you a freedom person with millions, but you're acting like a stability person, terrified to buy the guacamole?
Identifying that disconnect is the first step. You have to align your behavior with your actual reality.
Because ultimately, and this is the thought I want to leave you with, wealth isn't the point. The money is just the gas in the tank. It gets you where you're going.
But it isn't the destination. Well said. It's a tool, not a trophy.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you in the next one.